Tuesdays at 2. I'm your host, RJ. In this show, we take a new ingredient every week. It's going to be an ingredient you can find at your local supermarket, and we're going to teach you how to make a wonderful recipe with it. So stick around and check out the recipe. Hello, how are you guys? Welcome to Tuesdays at 2. I am RJ. So we are doing something fun. Today, today we are going to cook through 4 pasta sauces in about 25 minutes. Give you a couple of different sauces you can make at home pretty quick. None of these, well, one of them's tomato based, but none of them sits in a pan and has to cook all day. I know that the first thing a lot of people think of when they hear pasta sauce or spaghetti sauce is that thick, red, robust, either a pomodoro sauce or a meat sauce. Or a marinara sauce. All of those, you really need to cook those all day. You want to start those in the morning, excuse me, for a meal you're eating about a week from now. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch that up. I'm going to make 4 sauces for you, all in about 20 minutes. I've got some pasta cooking. I already have a little bit drained out. So, excuse me, we were hoping to have that pre-cooked for you. It's going to be fine. Going to get through it all. I said 20 minutes. We'll see how close we are. Maybe 25, but we're going to be there. So we are going to make a vodka sauce. We are going to make a pesto cream sauce. I'm going to do a brown butter and herb sauce. What was the last one? Oh, an Alfredo sauce. A lot of people forget about how simple it is just to make a butter and cheese sauce and how delicious it is. If you've got 10 minutes, you're looking for a midnight snack, you have some pre-cooked pasta, that's fantastic. You just throw some butter, herbs on it. I'll show you how to do it. It's going to make a fantastic snack. All of these can be done in about the time it takes to cook your pasta, except for the vodka sauce. It does take probably 20 to 25 minutes. So we're going to get started with that one first. I have a Swiss Diamond hard anodized nonstick pan here. This is our 20 centimeter saucepan. Click down below. We have our 18 centimeter saucepan. This is a great pan. It heats up super quickly. It's going to cook everything off super quickly like we want, and it's very controllable on heat. Since it's a little bit thinner, since it's a hard anodized aluminum, we're going to be able to regulate the heat on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to scoop in 1 large shallot and 2 cloves of sliced garlic. You can use minced garlic here. I would stay away from garlic powder. You're going to want the oils. You're going to want the allicin to come out of this. So the garlic powder isn't going to give you that. If you can't use garlic, if you don't have it at the house, by all means you can use garlic powder. You're going to want to put that in at the end. Not now. You'll end up burning the garlic powder. So what we're going to do is we got this. I've got it on medium high. I'm going to turn it down to medium. I'm just going to get everything kind of browned off. We're not going to burn anything. We're not going to caramelize it. I want to do a real quick brown. Excuse me. The garlic will start to brown. The onions should get pretty translucent. The garlic and the heat over time on this, it's going to kind of melt down, almost all the way melt, if you will. You're not going to have chunks of garlic in your sauce. It's not what we're going for. So we're going to let that happen for about 2 or 3 minutes. Again, guys, I thought I was going to have this pasta pre-cooked. I got a little behind, so we're getting there. So I'm just going to taste these. You're looking for al dente pasta. So you don't want soft. That's good, guys. If you guys could pull this off, you're going to want rags. Oh, you know what? No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You should be good there. They're going to take this. They're going to get it drained off for me. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. We'll get started on another sauce too. But wait, before we continue, do me a favor. Click that like button. Subscribe to us if you haven't already. Make sure you've hit the bell so you get our notifications. And comment down below. I know you don't like everything I do, so let me hear it. Now, back to the recipe. So guys, all of these can be used really with any pasta you guys like, or any pasta you guys like. Today I'm using what am I using? I didn't even see what I just pulled off of there. I think that was rigatone, and I got farfalle, I'm pretty sure. Bow tie pasta. And really, it's just to show the 2 different things. You can use any pasta you want to. We just cooked them to the package's directions. These are not fresh pastas. These are store-bought, pre-cooked, or not pre-cooked pasta. We're just reheating them, or reboiling them down. Okay, so we got this down. I don't know, obviously you can't smell this. This isn't smell-o-vision, but it's getting to where you can just really start to smell the, start smelling the garlic. What am I doing here? There we go. All right, I want to turn that down. I'm going to get 2/3 cup of tomato paste. throw that right in the pan. What we're looking to do here is you're going to cook it down so it'll get really bright red, and then it'll kind of turn back to the original brown color-ish. I mean, it's red, but more of a brown tone of red that comes out of the can. Once it gets back to that color, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, we can move on to the next step. So we're just going to let that kind of cook off. In the meantime, I'm going to heat up another pan. We're going to get started on sauce number 2. Sauce number 2 is going to be our quickest sauce. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Sauce number 2 is going to be our quickest sauce. I'm going to roll through these kind of quickest to easiest, kind of quickest to longest, except for the vodka sauce, which is going to take the longest because it's going to sit over here and just kind of cook for us. All right, so I've got that to where it kind of browned out. It got really bright, and then it kind of came back to brown. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Again, it's not going to be brown, kind of a red-brown. Compared against this, it's darker. What am I doing? Okay, so back on the vodka sauce. We're going to be all over the place today, I promise. We are going to take 3 tablespoons of vodka. Clearly, I put 3 ounces of vodka in here, so we're going to have some for later. That's about 3 tablespoons, not 3 ounces. We're going to boil it off. So once you start it boiling, what's going to happen is it cooks the alcohol off of there, and it's thoroughly cooking out the tomatoes. It's thinning them out. Hey, not sure if you can see that, but it makes the tomato paste kind of thin out here. We may need a touch more or a touch of the pasta water here in a minute. So we're going to let that cook, again, for about 1 minute. We're going to season it with salt and pepper, kind of let everything get combined. You guys, these hard anodized nonstick pans by Swiss Diamond, they're fantastic. Look, I mean, there's nothing sticking to them. There's a ton of sugar in the sauce from the tomatoes, from the vodka. Nothing sticking to it. They're really easy to heat. It's going to be super easy to clean later. And the acids from the tomatoes, you don't have to worry about them at all. They're not going to discolor the pan. They're not going to start to tear up the coating or anything like that. Same thing with our nonstick HD pans, which I'm going to start on here. You're not going to, what are we going on? I should get one that works on this. This is not an induction pan. Hold, please. We guys go in the kitchen, and on top of the oven, there is some fry pans. Sorry, guys, I brought the wrong ones. We'll cut that off for now. You know what? We'll just switch pans. We're going to use a DLX non-stick pan, or I'm sorry, a DLX stainless steel pan for this. This one's actually perfect for that. What we're going to try to do is we're going to brown this butter off. We're going to melt it. We're going to brown it. It's full of fats. There's really nothing that's going to stick to it, so this is going to work out just fine. Over here, you've got that vodka. It's cooked off, so what we're going to do is we're going to take cream. We're going to take about a cup of heavy cream, pour it in there, and you're going to back that up with 3 tablespoons of butter. Give me a second. I'll double check that. So we're putting about a cup of cream in there. We're going to let it come up to a simmer. 2 tablespoons of butter. I was wrong. We'll put that in there as well. So we want to turn it down to low at this point. We're going to let everything kind of melt and come together. And this is kind of where the magic happens. So the hard part of this is done. You just want everything to come together. You want to melt, again, the butter to melt, the cream to thicken up. We're going to whisk it on and off over the next 15 minutes or so. But it's basically done. We will season it here in a minute with some Parmesan and some salt and pepper. Not everything we're making today has Parmesan, but a lot of it does. Okay, so into the butter sauce. What we're doing here is, let's see. Oh, did you have that, the water? Oh, it's in there. Yeah. That's going to be difficult. All right, we got it. No problem. No problem. Okay, so we're going to get the butter. We need 8 tablespoons of butter. It's a stick of butter. We're going to get in there. We're going to melt it. I want you guys to melt this slowly. Don't rush this one. You don't want to burn off the butter, especially if you didn't pre-chop the butter. I'm just going to chop it up real rough to help it melt a little bit more evenly. But you definitely don't want to burn it. You just want to melt this stuff down kind of at a slow pace. We're on medium-low heat right now. It's actually a little bit fast. There we go. See how it's just starting to bubble on us? That's what we want. We don't want it to brown yet. How am I going to do this? Not a problem. You guys, I don't know what part of the country you're in. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it is 1,000 degrees outside again. So when we prepared this, it was going into fall time when you kind of wanted to eat pasta. Now it's 100 degrees outside. So this butter pasta is going to be the one that we'll probably go for when we get out of here. The other three may be a little bit heavy for the middle of summer. But we're almost there, so these are great recipes. Guys, this pan that I'm using here is the DLX 11-inch stainless fry pan. The price on this one is $74.95. This one is $54.95. It comes with a tempered lid, stainless steel ring. All right, guys, back to the show. This is getting pretty melted. You can see it's getting creamy. It's kind of what we're going for. Just keep that mixed up. Those have a little nubbin on them, I think is what what we coined it. So the nubbin keeps it from dripping. Those are the Swiss Diamond tool sets. All the tools have that on there, except for the spatula. All right, so what we're doing next is we drop that in. We're going to drop in some of this water, about half of the reserved water. We reserved about a cup of water, so we're going to put half of it in, kind of water it up just a touch, let that boil down, let the butter boil down. Into that, we're going to put a cup of Parmesan. I use the stuff from the grocery store. If you guys have freshly grated, it's even better. Keep this moving. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take your pasta, put it on your plate. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's do this a little differently. We are going to get this all done, all melted in, get that cheese good and melted. I know. So the other reserved water, if you guys need it, is to keep this at the consistency you want. This is kind of where I want it. You don't want it too wet. You don't want it to run everywhere. But if it's too thick, it won't stay on the pasta. It'll just kind of clump up. So we're gonna take this. This is pre-cooked pasta again. It's for just farfalle. Take about a half a pound for the recipe that we used. And we're gonna toss it in there. A little salt and pepper goes on the plate. Garnish and done. So boom, you just kind of do like that, and we're going to do salt and pepper on it. One more quick mix. This is enough for 2 people, guys. Just letting you know, it is a whole half-pound pasta here. A little bit of basil. Boom. And there's the first one. Here you go, guys. Take that off. We'll move them all back in at the end, I think, or we'll try. All right, so we're going to pop this pan off to the side. We're not going to use it anymore. Let some team members clean it here in a bit. All right, so this, as I said, we're just going to keep it moving. Everything's where it needs to be. You can still kind of see some streaking in there from the tomato sauce, from the tomato paste. So just kind of, stir it in. Try to make it as smooth as possible. We're going to keep it warm over this next half hour or 20 minutes or however long, and it's going to make it all smooth out. All right, I'm going to take this pasta and move it back to the side for a minute. Next up, I'm going to do a quick pesto sauce. I cheated. I bought Stockpot pesto. It's just as good. It's fantastic. Did you get me that other pan? Yeah. It's not down. Oh, it's not though. Let's see. That works. Stupid. This is dying. There we go. There we go. All right. We need a new cooktop. All right, guys. So what we're doing is we got a Swiss Diamond HD nonstick fry pan over here. This is our 32 centimeter. Anyone you have in the kitchen is going to work out fine. You're going to get a jar of prepared pesto. Sorry, just making sure I have everything. Need a little bit of tablespoon of olive oil, quarter cup of heavy cream, salt, pepper, and then your pasta, right? So we're done with the pasta water. That was the only one we needed it for. Move it out of the way so I don't stick my hand in it again. Does that get cooler? So that one's either on or not. Okay, perfect. So what we're doing here is we want to warm that up. We're going to go ahead and put the pesto in. Excuse me. You want to make sure you have all the oils you got from the pesto. The oils are what are going to really cook this thing through. We're going to heat it up. We're going to put the garlic in as well as our little bit of olive oil. Boop, boop. And we're going to save that garlic for the last one. So much stuff. Maybe I don't try to do 4 recipes at once. Okay. So this one we're going to start heating through. This one's pretty quick, guys. So you just kind of want to warm up the pesto. Pesto is basil, pine nuts, olive oil. Depending on the ones you get, it may have some spinach as a filler. It may have some walnuts as a filler. The best ones are going to be just 3 ingredients. It's basil, pine nuts, olive oil. You can make it yourself if you have a mortar and pestle. I can't ever say that. You can also use a food processor. You're going to want to take a ton of basil. Mash it up. You want to get it into this consistency. I like mine a little bit more oily. This is the way that this one's served, so that's why I added some olive oil to this one. Usually with pre-made pestos, you're going to need the oil, which is why I made the recipe that way. With homemade, you can obviously put as much oil in the pesto itself that you want. All right, so we're just going to let that get hot. Oh, I'm glad that that one's at least done. So, yeah. So we're going to let that one get hot. We're going to put a touch of butter in it. We're going to put a touch of cream in it. Nope, no butter, just cream. Sorry. All over the place today. Because that's the pesto one? Yeah. Perfect. So as you can see, the oils have started to bubble up on it. We just want to move it around. You want to make sure everything gets hot, stays hot. I mean, after all, you're putting it on hopefully what is warm pasta, so it shouldn't be too bad. So you're going to take this cream, about a quarter cup, pour it right in there. So you're going to want to move this stuff around pretty quickly, because the pockets of oil in the pesto will make the cream boil quickly throughout, and not in a uniform manner. Sorry, guys, I'm 3 things at one time, maybe too much. There we go. Okay, so that's really it for your pesto cream sauce. It doesn't take a ton of time. Again, we're going to get our farfalle pasta. We're going to keep that warm. So again, I'll put about a half of it in there. And as it's hot, just kind of mix it around. You just kind of want to coat it. This one, we're going to get a plate. Oh, want to salt and pepper it. Always season up your sauces at the end. It's fine if you're going to do salt at the beginning. Never use pepper at the beginning. Pepper will burn. It's a really easy herb that burns. It burns quickly. So if you're using pepper in your meals, don't put it in at the beginning unless you are boiling it or something. If you're going right on a burner, right on the grill, anything like that, you definitely don't want to. So there's more in this pan that's going to fit. That's all right. So boom, I hit it with a little bit of cheese. My kids love this. They call it shaky cheese. Again, basil on the top. This is all made of basil, so more basil won't hurt at all. And boom, just like that. You have a creamy pesto pasta. So that's 2. How long have we been here? 15 minutes? Awesome. So we got one more to go while that one finishes up. This time we are going to use a sauce pot, so I'm going to use our Swiss Diamond HD Nonstick saucepan. This works, I think. There we go. And this is going to be our Alfredo sauce. So Alfredo sauces are quick. Again, they don't take a super long time. You're going to start with a half cup of butter. So a cup is 8 ounces, or 8 tablespoons. Cup of it, or half cup, you're going to do 4, so half a stick. You're going to add the butter and the cream at the same time right at the beginning here as this thing's warming up. A cup and a half of heavy cream. The good thing about any of these sauces, you may notice I'm not using a measuring cup. The good thing about any of these sauces is you kind of adjust them with either the fat or either the liquid or the fat. I'm sorry, and I know that cream is fat, but it is the liquid of this dish with the cheese being the solid fat. So as we get this together, if it's too thick, if it's not really coating your pasta, if it just kind of seems like it's globby, throw some more cream in it. Other way around, if it's super runny, turn it back up, bring it to a simmer, throw a little bit more cheese in it. That'll thicken it right back up. That being said, what we're going to do is we're going to go about 2 cloves of garlic in here. And then what we're going to do is let that butter melt. We're going to let the cream come to a simmer. Shouldn't take too terribly long. We'll see. From there, we're going to hit it with a little Italian seasoning. A lot of cheese. And then we're going to put it on the pasta. All right, so let's get the green off of here since we're going to a red sauce. You guys, comment down below if you think that my boss should buy me some kind of sink instead of just trying to do this with a bunch of people running back and forth to the sink. Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, comment below on anything you may want to see. If you guys want to see us cook a certain recipe, if there's something I'm doing today that you don't like, by all means, fight me down below. Let's talk about it. You know, if your recipe is better than mine, you know, what do I know? I did go to culinary school, but, you know, my mom's recipes are way better than anything I learned there. So I'd love to hear what your mom's cooking, what you're cooking, especially with pasta sauce. A lot of people get very, a lot of people are very defensive on pasta sauces that they grew up in. There's an Italian place in my town that everybody loves, and I won't go to because it doesn't taste anything like my mom's sauce because it's way too salty, and so therefore I'm not going. All right, so vodka sauce. We're gonna plate that up. I have the rigatoni here. We're gonna take about half of it. We learned that there was water in here, so I'm not gonna dump it. I'm gonna scoop it. Need more than that. Oh, that is simmering. In just a second, we're gonna put a cover on there. We're gonna let that simmer for about 2 minutes. Let the butter and the cream come together, and then we're gonna start seasoning it, putting the cheese in. All right, so here we have the vodka sauce. If you remember, this is a light. I mean, it's tomato based, but it didn't take me all day. I've been here for about 20 minutes. This sauce is just like you're going to get it out of the can or the jar or whatever it is you buy at the store. It's way more fun to cook it yourself. Again, any pasta you guys like, it doesn't matter. If you like fresh, if you like box spaghetti, really any pasta for any of these dishes is totally fine. Don't let anybody tell you that fettuccine has to go, or Alfredo has to go on fettuccine. That's not true. I know that that's where you're going to find it on most menus, but that's just because that's what everybody's used to seeing. So this one, again, just going to put a little bit of basil on there. I'm going to hit it with the cheese. This one, if you remember, didn't have very much cheese in it at all. Boom. And just like that, you've got vodka sauce pasta. It's over rigatoni this time. All right, guys. Like I was saying, you don't need fettuccine to do an Alfredo sauce. You just need the sauce and a pasta, right? So we're going to use the same pasta. In here goes 3 cups of grated Parmesan. Fresh is always better than the jarred. However, jarred is what most people have in their fridge, so I try to cook with what people have in their fridge. All right, so we're putting that in, and we're giving it an old swirl. And so this is going to be creamy, buttery, thick, right? I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's really thickening it up nice. In fact, I'm probably going to have to hit it with a touch more cream. Maybe not. I'm going to give it just another minute on here. I want to bring it up to a simmer, make sure that the cheese melts through. You want to hit this with salt and pepper. We're going to hit it with salt and pepper one more time as it goes on the plate, actually. You guys, when you're boiling your water for your pasta, pre-salt the water. Use a ton of water. Taste it. If it tastes like seawater, you're almost there. The pasta does not pick up a ton of salt, but the seasoning is definitely needed as you're making your pasta. My wife always says I oversalt mine. I use about a half a cup of water for a quart, or I'm sorry, a half a cup of salt for 2 quarts of water. She says I oversalt it, but then when I cook it, she loves it. So, it's a lot of salt that the pasta can take without showing it in the food. And pasta, unseasoned pasta is, it's bland. I mean, it's just eggs and flour, right? So it can be quite bland. So with the fettuccine, with the Alfredo, the other thing is if it's too thick, you can put more cream in it. The other thing you can do also is hit it with a little bit of that extra pasta water. That'll thin it right out without adding any more calories, any more fat, if that's something you guys are worried about. Clearly it's not something we're worried about here, but if it is something you're worried about, the other thing you want to do is you're going to take your Italian seasoning. Never opened it. Again, canned is fine, or jarred, whatever we call this. If you guys have fresh herbs in the garden, use those. They're going to be better. You know your herbs. You know how much of them you need to use. If you don't, start small, and you can always add more. Taking them away becomes hard, especially with Italian seasonings. A lot of those are pretty robust. So if you have too many, or if you put too much of it in there, it's going to be hard to get them out. You're probably going to have to just add to your sauce. That's not going to work. So guys, I'm using about half a tablespoon of seasoning there. So here's the final one. So again, we have a nice Alfredo sauce. It's super thick. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. I don't know if my mic's picking it up, but you can hear it like sloshing there. Here's some ASMR for you. That's because of how thick the sauce is. That's the cheese and the cream. So again, we're going to hit that with a little bit more cheese. Doesn't look like it needs a ton more salt and pepper. Let me garnish it. Boop. Just a little bit more cheese. Boop. And that's done. So here's the last one. So now you're looking at a Alfredo dish that is on rigatoni. Super easy to make. Guys, I just made 4 sauces in, if I did that right, it was 26 minutes. I missed it, but I was close. I was close to 20 minutes. I think I could do it in 20 minutes if I did it again. Next time I won't stick my hand in boiling water, and it'll go a little bit smoother. All right, so a couple of things. One, Tuesdays at 2. That's what we're doing now every week, every Tuesday, 2 o'clock. Myself or someone else will be here to cook you guys something fun, something you can hopefully make at the house, something you guys feel comfortable with. I'm going to try to push your culinary limits a little bit, but everything I get will be from the local grocery store and things that I think you can find here in America at any grocery store across the country with little to no problem. That being said, we decided we're going to do something new. Everybody in the office has put a bunch of ingredients in a bowl. I get to pick out of this bowl, and next week, that's what we'll be cooking. So let's do that now. All right, guys, so there is, 15, 20 ingredients in here. I don't know what any of them are. I probably contributed to it, but I have no idea what we'll pull. So I'm going to pull it out of here. I'm going to make either a main or a dessert next week with whatever's in here. I don't know. I won't tell you now. I'll tell you next week what it's going to be. So let's go. All right, so I've got papaya. Boom, that was a late ad, actually. I know that this one just got added because somebody said, was there papaya in there? And I said, I have no idea. And then I think he wrote it in there. I think he cheated. Anyway, papayas next week. Super awesome fruit. I don't know if you guys have messed with it. You can go savory with them. You can go sweet with them. I don't have a way to make ice cream. I don't have a way to make cakes. So stick around and see what we're going to do. It's probably going to be something warm. Or something we'll at least have to melt down into a jelly. I don't know, just thinking off the top of my head. We can make papaya tacos. They're super good. You mix them in with jackfruit. We can make those totally vegetarian, totally vegan. I'm not promising any of that. Give me a couple days. Let me figure out what we can do here. If you guys have ideas, put them down below. If they're crazy enough, I'll give them a shot. If you have questions about anything we did today, if you want to argue about anything we did today, by all means, comment down below. The pans I used, they're all Swiss Diamond. The Swiss Diamond cookware is fantastic. The non-stick stuff, nothing sticks to it. It cleans up super easy. At the end of the day, you just scoop everything out, hit it with soap and water, cleans right up. The stainless steel is some of the best stainless steel I've ever used. That is our single ply, the DLX. It's got a single ply bowl with the base being 5 ply to help with heat retention. That stuff's amazing. Guys, if you're joining us on Amazon, do me a favor, click down below, click the like or the follow button, comment, You know, buy something, do whatever. The Amazon will help. They're going to get their algorithm going. You're going to want it to be at the top there. Yeah, so thanks for your time. I hope everything went well. I hope that you enjoy your week. We'll see you next week. I guess I'm cooking something with papaya, so come back and see what that is. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. We had a lot of fun. Do me a favor. Click that like button. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the bell, make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you comment down below. Comment down below. Next week we're going to bring you another great recipe.